Good evening. I would like to call to order today's meeting, February 4th, 2020, for our Little Rock City Board of Directors. We would like to welcome those that are in attendance as well as those watching at home or streamlining online. Madam Clerk, will you please, I'm trying to give you some time, call the roll.
Director Hendricks, Director Richardson, Director Webb, Director Peck, Director Hines, Director Wright, Director Compuris, Director Fortson, Director Adcock, Vice Mayor Wyrick, Mayor Scott. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Are you ready to repeat again?
Honorable Mayor Scott.
Present. Let me now take the time to recognize Director Ken Richardson, who will give our invocation.
I did it last week.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. Director Kathy Webb. I'm sorry about that.
Will you please join me in a moment of reflection as we gather to listen to our residents and to do the business of the city. Let the words of a beloved Arkansan and American, Maya Angelou, guide us this evening. One isn't necessarily born with courage, but one is born with potential. Without courage, we cannot practice any other virtue with consistency. We can't be kind, true, merciful, generous, or honest. Please guide us with courage. Amen.
Amen. Now y'all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we get started, I want to take time to recognize Melody Chenault. Melody Chenault is with Job Corps, and she's shadowing. She's shadowing our illustrious Vice Mayor today. So, Ms. Chenault, would you please approach?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Melody Chenault, and I'm a student at Job Corps. I'm in facility maintenance, and I'm honored to be here today. And, well, Job Corps is a very good program for those who need a second chance. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We now would like to take time to recognize Dr. Victoria Ramirez, but also we would like our cultural creative advisor and public affairs advisor, Mr. Scott Carter, to introduce her.
Thank you. I will be brief to give the time for her, but most people on their first day on the job don't get to participate in a groundbreaking, and that's one of the things that Dr. Ramirez, one of the many things she did on her first day in the job on October 1st. She is new here to the city and to the Arkansas Arts Center, and so she wanted to have the opportunity to meet you all and to just give you a brief update on what's going on with the Arts Center. And so with that, it's my pleasure to turn it over to Dr. Victoria Ramirez.
Thank you, Scott. Well, hello, Mayor Scott, Board of Directors. What an honor it is for me to be here as the Executive Director of the Arkansas Arts Center. Let me first extend my gratitude to each of you and to the City Manager, Bruce Moore, for your extraordinary gift to the community, the $31 million of support for the Arts Center. Since the bond passed in 2016, the Arts Center has raised over $90 million of private monies to bring our campaign total to over $122 million for a new reimagined Arkansas Arts Center. This level of public and private support is exceptional. It speaks volumes about the commitment we have for quality of life and for ensuring that the arts remain a vibrant part of our community for generations to come. And to think that we're just getting started. In 2022, the reimagined Arkansas Arts Center in MacArthur Park will open. The rendering of the new Arts Center provides just a glimpse of what to expect. And I brought this rendering here. I realize those in the back can't see it, and we'll spin it around and make sure everybody gets a chance to see it. What you'll see is a stunning architectural landmark that will be a signature for Little Rock. Landscaping that extends into MacArthur Park, creating a welcoming and enjoyable environment. You'll also notice Little Rock's iconic Henry Moore sculpture will be prominently placed in front of the Arts Center's original 1937 entrance, a facade that underscores our legacy as the region's oldest destination for the arts. And I also want to point out on the second floor the very distinctive cultural living room, a beautifully glass-enclosed space that will be a community gathering space for people to come together, to learn, and to socialize. And there will be more with the new Arkansas Arts Center. State-of-the-art galleries, theater, lecture hall, programming spaces, a fully equipped art school, children's theater, restaurant, and store, and performing arts spaces, both inside the Arts Center and on the grounds, will host live music, film, festivals, and events for the entire community. And we pledge, as always, admission to the Arts Center will continue to be free for everyone. Although our new facility doesn't open until 2022, Arts Center staff remains dedicated to the community. Our work with area schools, libraries, and hospitals continues. Our statewide outreach, where we bring art and theater to every corner of the state, is continuing. And closer to home, we are working with community members and partners to be sure that when the Arts Center reopens, it will be an art center for everyone. Should you have community organizations that you would like us to reach out to, please let me know. And should you wish to have a tour of the construction site and see our 3D model of the new Art Center, I'd be happy to share it with you. Finally, I'll conclude with some good news. The construction for the Art Center is on schedule and on budget. So I will leave you with this rendering of the Art Center, and we will hope that you will display it prominently here in City Hall. I know that Scott has distributed our 2018-2019 year in review, and I thank you. I thank you for your time, your commitment, and your support of the Arts Center.
Director Computers, would you like to say anything?
Thank you. I thank the board. I thank Victoria and her group for the amount of money they've raised. You can't say anything without saying thank you to Warren and Harriet Stevens. $90 million is a lot of money. And it will bring us a art center for everybody, as Victoria said. It'll be a place that will be a showcase. It will be a instrument of redevelopment, much like the Clinton Library was. So this area of town will have great revitalization. It'll have great ability to come back. If we can pull off a couple of other things, we connect the Art Center and downtown together, and we'll have a cultural entertainment venue that basically is free to all areas, that will make people of Little Rock proud and will be a showcase for our community. So thank you for all you're doing.
Thank you. And thank you for mentioning Harriet and Warren Stevens. They have given their all, not only to the campaign, but to the building and to ensuring that the community understands the importance of this project.
Thank you so much, Director Computers. I know you spent a lot of time and effort in helping to lead this effort along with the city board, as well as the voters of the city of Little Rock who voted for much of the money that came contributed from the city of Little Rock. And so we're very grateful for our residents that invested into this project, as well as this entire board. As I also want to applaud you, Dr. Ramirez, for ensuring that there will be a nexus with the community that is situated within and education. And focusing on cultural competency as we move forward. I know that's something that's near and dear to your heart and as a part of your North Star. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Madam Clerk, if you would please read the consent agenda. Oh, Director Adcock has a question.
Yes, last week when we looked at this, I asked a question about the items number 4 through number 9, I believe it is. And why do we have so many? And I was told, well, this is just little pieces of area by Highway 10. And we just have one for each of the little pieces. But when I got the explanation of this, I found that one little piece is $262,000. And I started asking some questions about this, and I would like to pull out whichever one of these it is that pertains to the fire station, number 16, and hold it separate to have some questions, please.
Director Hendricks, you had a comment? Yes, but I did allow her to ask that particular question before we got to that. So, yes, ma'am, it was in order.
So I'm not for
Yes.
sure which number it is that I want held separate.
Director Adcock and Mayor Scott, I think the better thing to do is just to keep the entire resolution separately. That way, it will all be discussed at one time. If the board wishes to amend anything out, they can do it at that time.
But from a parliamentary procedure standpoint, if it was supposed to be separate, it should have been held separate than the agenda meeting, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. It was supposed to be held separate during the agenda meeting.
We
That's
have always
norm-
been able to ask for something to be held separate at this meeting.
And the city attorney just said, he just agreed with what I just asked. So that being said, Madam Clerk. Yes, Lance. You got it.
Been able to ask for something to be held separate at the beginning of session, Tom. Is that not correct?
That's right.
Okay, that contradicts what you just told the mayor, though.
No, it's not. What I just said to the mayor is
Okay.
that instead of taking a part of the resolution out, which is what I understood Director Adcock wanted to do, just take the whole resolution out of consent and consider it all at one time.
Right, but we've got multiple
More
resolutions.
than one
There's
resolution,
more
Tom.
than one
5
resolution.
resolutions.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
Mr. Director Richardson? Then we'll go to.
Yeah, this is really, really confusing. We want to hold one separate, but we don't know which one. We want to hold separate.
It's track 20 is what
Track,
Director
okay,
Adcock-
well, I didn't hear that.
But here's the point of order, everyone. Yes, if Mr. Carpenter did just share that we can hold one separate, but I just really ask, we have an agenda meeting for a reason. If you want to, that's generally when we hold things separate. Let's please try our best to do that then or sometime between now, the agenda meeting and this meeting, so we won't have this type of confusion. That's why we have an agenda meeting. So we will now hold those 4 through, do you know which ones, Director Adcock?
4 through 8.
4 through 8 we will hold separate. Madam Clerk, would you now read the consent agenda?
A resolution to set February 18th, 2020 as the date of public hearing regarding the sources and uses of funds provided in the 2020 CDBG Home and HOPWEL funds for the United States government and for the purposes. A resolution authorized the city manager to approve an amendment to the contract between the City of Little Rock, Arkansas and Friday Eldridge and Clark, LLP, to provide legal counsel to represent the city before the Civil Service Commission and for the purposes. A resolution to donate title to properties to Odestein Fuller and Dana Fuller via quitclaim deed for properties donated by the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, to be used for neighborhood revitalization programs and for the purposes. A resolution to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute a temporary backup. A resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into contract with Clark Equipment Company, doing business as Bobcat Company, in an amount not to exceed $59,668.48 for the purchase of one Bobcat tracked excavator for the Public Works Department, Street Operations Division, and for the purposes. A resolution authorizes mayor and city clerk to enter into a purchase agreement with the I-40 Riverport Investments in the amount of $352,000 for the purchase of approximately 17 acres of land by the city of Little Rock for the City of Little Rock, Arkansas, for the benefit of the Little Rock Port Authority and for the purposes that concludes the consent agenda.
Move for the adoption of the consent agenda.
Second.
There's a motion second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. We do no longer have, we don't have any comment cards for citizen communication. Is that correct, Madam Clerk? And we do not have any agenda items either, so we will move forward. Madam Clerk, please read the grouped items for the first time.
An ordinance to accept the Bear Den annexation to add certain lands to the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, and for the purposes. An ordinance to repeal ordinance number 18,383 of October the 17th, 2000, and to revoke a planned office district titled Gray Short Form POD to reclassify property located in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, and for the purposes. An ordinance to approve a plan zoning development, establish a plan office district titled Integrated Site Solutions, Short Form POD, located at 218 North McKinley Street, Little Rock, Arkansas, amending the official zoning map of the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, and for the purposes. An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid, to authorize the city manager to enter into a sole source purchase order with G&W Diesel in an amount not to exceed $612,387.50, plus a contingency reserve to refurbish one 2003 Pierce-tiller truck for the Little Rock Fire Department, to declare an emergency and for the purposes. An ordinance to further amend Little Rock, Arkansas ordinance number 21,750 of June 9, 2019, to institute an appeal procedure to declare an emergency and for the purposes. First reading.
There's a motion second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Second reading.
Was there a nay?
There was one nay. Second reading.
An ordinance to accept the Bear Den annexation to add certain lands to the city of Little Rock, Arkansas. An ordinance to repeal ordinance number 18,383 and to revoke a planned office district titled Gray Short Form POD to reclassify property located in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas. An ordinance to approve a planned zoning development, establish a planned office district titled Integrated Site Solutions, Short Form POD, located at 218 North McKinley Street. An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid, to authorize the city manager to enter into a sole source purchase order with G&W Diesel in an amount not to exceed $612,387.50, plus a contingency reserve to refurbish one 2003 Pierce-tiller truck for the Little Rock Fire Department, to declare an emergency. An ordinance to further amend Little Rock, Arkansas ordinance number 21,750 to institute a appeal procedure to declare an emergency. Second reading.
There's a motion second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Third reading.
An ordinance to accept the Bear Den annexation to add certain lands to the city of Little Rock, Arkansas. An ordinance to repeal ordinance number 18,383 and to revoke a planned office district titled Gray Short Form POD to reclassify property located in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas. An ordinance to approve a planned zoning development, establish a planned office district titled Integrated Site Solutions, Short Form POD, located at 218 North McKinley Street. An ordinance to declare it impractical and unfeasible to bid, to authorize the city manager to enter into a sole source purchase order with G&W Diesel in an amount not to exceed $612,387.50, plus a contingency reserve to refurbish one 2003 Pierce-tiller truck for the Little Rock Fire Department, to declare an emergency. An ordinance to further amend Little Rock, Arkansas ordinance number 21,750 to institute an appeal procedure to declare an emergency. Third and final reading.
We've now had three readings. Are there any questions in regards to those items? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. We'll now move forward. All those in favor of the emergency clause for item number 14, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Present. Ayes have it. All those in favor of the emergency clause for item number 15, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Present. Ayes have it. Madam Clerk, would you please read the items of 4 through 8 and 16 for the first time for separate items?
Mayor, number 16 is an ordinance, it has to be read 3 times, the other ones only have to be read once.
Would you please read item number 16 first, and then we'll move forward to items number 4 through 8. Clerk, Madam Clerk.
An ordinance to approve a plan zoning development, establish a planned commercial district titled Pineda Calais, short form PCD, located at 9811 Mableville Main Street, Little Rock, Arkansas, amending the official zoning map of the city of Little Rock, Arkansas, and for the purposes, first reading.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Second reading.
An ordinance to approve a plan zoning development, establish a planned commercial district titled Pineda Calais, short form PCD, located at 9811 Mableville Main Street, second reading.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Third reading.
An ordinance to approve a plan zoning development, establish a planned commercial district titled Pineda Calais, short form PCD, located at 9811 Mableville Main Street, third and final reading.
Are there any questions? Director Adcock?
Is the applicant here tonight? Could she come forward, please, Mayor?
Yes, she may.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Okay,
If you
we've
please
got,
announce yourself, please.
Yeah, my name is Jessica, and I am the owner of DF Tire Shop.
Thank
okay,
you.
we've got some information. There was some concern about the site not having a place to store the tires on. So could you tell us what you have done to prepare the site for the storage of the tires?
Okay, so the tires are behind a gated place. Now the problem was with the trailer that we put the waste tires in, that was visible. So I think that was the problem, that it was not good for the appearance of the business. What we did is we have a garage that we assigned to the trailer for it to be parked there, so no tires are visible at all. Only during the day when we do display our tires, that's the only tires that are displayed, but at night when we close, there's no tires visible.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing any landscaping around it?
Yes, we try to, right now because of the weather, it doesn't need much maintenance, but during the summer we do the landscaping more often.
How long have you had this business?
In general, we had it for 3 years. We were in Conway first, but we moved a year ago to the Mableville place.
Okay, so you've been in Mableville for 1 year?
1 year.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any more questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes
Nay.
have it. Madam Clerk, would you please read resolutions 4 through 8, please?
A resolution authorized the mayor and city clerk to execute a contract with the Arkansas State Highway Commission to sell approximately 0.07 acres of property located in part of the southwest quarter of the northeast quarter of Section 21, Township 2 North, Range 13 West, Pulaski County, Arkansas, for improvements to Highway 10 from Interstate 430 to Sandpeck Road, and for the purposes, a resolution authorized the mayor and city clerk to execute a contract with the Arkansas State Highway Commission to sell approximately 28 square feet of a drainage easement located in part of the southwest corner of the northeast quarter of Section 21, Township 2 North, Range 13 West, Pulaski County, Arkansas, for improvements to the Highway 10 from Interstate 430 to Sandpeck Road, and for the purposes, a resolution authorized the mayor and city clerk to execute a contract with the Arkansas State Highway Commission to sell approximately 0.05 acres of property located in part of the southwest quarter of the northeast quarter of Section 21, Township 2 North, Range 13 West, Pulaski County, Arkansas, for improvements to Highway 10 from Interstate 430 to Sandpeck Road. A resolution authorized the mayor and city clerk to execute a contract with the Arkansas State Highway Commission to sell approximately 0.15 acres of property located in part of the southwest quarter of the northeast quarter of Section 21, Township 2 North, Range 13 West, Pulaski County, Arkansas, for improvements to Highway 10 from Interstate 430 to Sandpeck Road and for other purposes. A resolution authorized the mayor and city clerk to execute a temporary construction easement with the Arkansas State Highway Commission for property described as Tract E1 for RDOT job number 061331 for improvements to Highway 10 from Interstate 430 to Sandpeck Road and for other purposes.
Director Adcock.
Yes, on the memo that we received from Mr. Moore, it stated that Tract 20 would be a total price of $262,700, and it would be for Fire Station 16. I would like to have some explanation. Are we buying the fire station? What exactly are we doing with the fire station and the land that it sits on?
Director Honeywell, if you would, please approach.
Thank you, Mayor Scott, directors, Director Adcock. Tonight we have a representative from the Highway Department, Mr. Sam Bartolotta. He's the one that's been working with the city as far as negotiating and working through these acquisitions of the properties. So I'd like to have him come up and he can help us explain in detail exactly what's going on with this particular tract. They are not buying the fire station. They are acquiring right-of-way in front of the fire station along Highway 10, Cantrell, and then there might be some along South Ridge as it goes up along the west side of the fire station as well. So he'll be able to explain a
Have
little.
any pictures showing this?
He probably has a map that you can see what we're talking about.
Okay, can we put it up?
It's not digital, probably what he has. It's just a paper map. We can pull up on Google or something like that, and we can sort of roughly show you where we're talking about. We can do that, yes.
Okay.
Director Adcock, you had asked for a photograph or some sort of drawing, and I checked with Mr. Overton, the deputy in my department, who had worked on this particular matter. He did not have one. He checked with John, and John did not have one, so that's why we didn't present one tonight.
Well, I know I've talked to some people today from that area up there, and they had no idea. So that's why I wanted a picture to kind of show them of exactly what property we're talking about.
I brought a map with me that I have on me. It's a paper map. It's not a digital map, though. I'd be happy to email you a digital map afterwards.
I think that they might be able to fix it back there.
Okay. But basically what we're doing at the fire station area is we're acquiring right-of-way along Highway 10 and South Ridge Drive. We're also getting a temporary construction easement around the entire fire station on the property. Because of the acquisition, we are messing with the parking for the fire, the people that work at the fire department. And so we're getting a temporary construction easement around the whole property to redo the entire parking lot for the fire station. So they have the correct amount of parking spots and handicap parking spaces and stuff like that.
Someone mentioned building a wall. What type of wall are you building?
A retaining wall. See, right now there is a retaining wall along the front of the highway along Highway 10. We are acquiring that retaining wall. We paid for the retaining wall in the appraisal. Now, when I met with Fire Chief Hubbard and the fire station crew, there were several concerns about having a retaining wall in front of there since we were acquiring it. And so as part of negotiations, our engineering staff is building a retaining wall inside of the right-of-way on the back side of the sidewalk for the fire department, for those safety concerns that they have.
How tall of a retaining wall?
It'll be a 3.5-foot concrete retaining wall.
Okay. And I think it was mentioned that you're changing the people coming down out of Walton Heights cannot turn left.
Yes, ma'am. They will no longer be able to turn left at that location.
And how are they going to go left?
Well, we are really redoing the intersection at Rodney Parham, and so there will be a single point urban interchange underneath the Rodney Parham, and so you'll come out of South Ridge and it'll cut behind the Tag Church, I believe, and so you'll go to Rodney Parham, and there will be a stoplight that'll control all traffics, And so they'll be able to come to that stoplight and go in any direction. You can go through Rodney Parham, you can go toward West Cantrell, East Cantrell.
How about the fire trucks? Will they be allowed to go left?
Yes, they are working, the city of Little Rock and the highway department engineers work together, and they provided a mountable curb median along the center that's allowing the fire trucks to come left out of there.
Okay.
And they'll have signalized GPS, so when they hit a button, it'll handle the traffic lights. And
Will the residents be able to turn left onto Southridge?
no.
And how will they get up in Walton Heights coming from out Highway 10?
Well, they'll go through the Spewey at the new interchange at Rodney Parham, or they can take a right into Southridge Drive. So it'll be a right in, right out only, or the main entrance will now be at a signalized light at Rodney Parham.
So it'd be one way coming down the hill?
Yes, it's south. Well, it'll be two ways coming down Southridge, because you can come down and take a right out, and you can also come in and take a right in.
Okay. Did you have meetings with the neighborhood?
They came to the public involvement, and we had meetings there.
And when was those meetings held, do you know?
I do not have an exact date for you.
I think the highway department probably had at least 3 public involvement meetings regarding this project, and it's been over probably at least 2 years time frame when they've done those at various stages of design in the project.
John, we're going to let Director Peck say something.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Joan. I know you've worked a lot with the Walton Heights Neighborhood Association. We've had lots of meetings. Everybody's good with it. The highway department's been very flexible and attentive, and you've listened. And could you just do it quickly and get it over with?
Yeah, we're hoping to start soon.
It's the busiest area in the
is.
entire state, 54,000 cars, and I avoid it like a plague, so make it so quickly.
Yeah, I'm under the impression we're looking at the next couple of months to start construction.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. I'm going to now open the public hearing for item number 17. Madam Clerk, would you please read the ordinance for the first time?
An ordinance to abandon the Van Buren Street right-of-way located between West 13th Street and West 14th Street, located in the east half, northwest quarter, northeast quarter, Township 1, North, Range 7 West, Little Rock, Arkansas, and for the purposes first reading.
Move to suspend the rules and place on second reading.
There's a motion second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Second reading.
An ordinance to abandon the Van Buren Street right-of-way located between West 13th Street and West 14th Street, located in the east half, northwest quarter, northeast quarter, Township 1 North, Range 7 West, Little Rock, Arkansas. Second reading.
Move to suspend the rules and place on third and final reading.
There's a motion second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Third reading.
An ordinance to abandon the Van Buren Street right-of-way located between West 13th Street and West 14th Street, located in the east half, northwest quarter, northeast quarter, Township 1 North, Range 7 West, Little Rock, Arkansas. Third and final reading.
Are there any individuals present to speak for or against this particular item? Seeing none, this public hearing is now closed. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Is there anything from the board, members of the board, to bring before the board before we adjourn? Director Hendricks.
I would like for John to come to the mic, please. Honeywell. It's good. I want to publicly thank John for taking care of the intersection at Roosevelt Road and Chester. The signs are up.
Right.
And maybe I won't get another wall torn down that the insurance company made me pay for. And that's the reason why I'm crying. It's a lot of money that I had to have 2 brick walls, 6-foot walls put back up. But thank you so much.
You're welcome, and we're trying to see if there's some other things we can do in conjunction with the highway department to see if we can't make it even a little better.
And I'm working with the highway department too. He's got to do something.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Director Wright?
Yes, Mayor Scott. I know you had indicated that there will be some communications coming out in March regarding the new changes that we are implementing as far as our garbage and.
Yes, I'll, would you like for me to give a brief update now? Or?
Well, I would like us, there's a lot of confusion, and I got some confusion on my own. And so can we put this on our agenda next week to get a presentation from staff so that we get a clear rundown of exactly what's changing and what's not?
Yes, ma'am.
And I would also like to inquire of our city attorney if he's still over there. I see he's leaning back.
And before you proceed, Director Wright, Madam Clerk, if you would add a Public Works update to the policy discussion rather than the agenda.
And Mr. Carpenter, I would like to know the procedure to rescind an ordinance.
Essentially, you just repeal it.
Okay, so what, I would say if, I would just bring it up myself if I felt.
Right, there's certain ordinances you can't repeal. For example, if you put out a bond issue and the bonds have been issued, then as long as they're outstanding, you can't repeal those. But yes, or you could just tell me what it is you want to repeal and I'll draft one for you.
Okay, my concern is this ordinance around these fees because I'm concerned about the condition of the neighborhood deteriorating back from the progress we have made over the years in getting things cleaned up. So I want to hear the presentation next week from staff and see how I feel about it. But from the feedback I've been getting from the public, it's not going over well. It's not going over well at all.
And I think once you get, once you get some of the information, you'll understand that that's a small number. And I know many times when we get phone calls, it can seem louder than what it actually is. But Mr. Honeywell will be able to share with you a lot of numbers that'll be very interesting to you.
And that's what I need. I need some balance because right now, I'm hearing from people that, they're breathing down my neck and these extra fees, and then they feel like the neighbor's going to get jumped back up. People are going to be dumping stuff all over. And I've got a lot of dump sites that I have to police myself to make sure that they're turned in and that this stuff is picked up.
Yes, ma'am. And so we'll review that back over again for our policy discussion, and Mr. Honeywell will give a very comprehensive review. And I do recognize for the board, we did vote on this last summer, and it went into effect January, so I think it is in order just to kind of have a refresher for everyone, so when you are approached, you can have a conversation.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Oh,
yes, ma'am.
I do have a question for, where'd he go? Yes. Not a question, I need you to know something. I noted this earlier, but so much stuff has been going on, I forgot. At the corner of John Barrow and Colonel Glenn, those beautiful signs that you all installed as a part of the streetscape, I don't know how, but somebody jumped the sidewalk, jumped the curve, and hit it.
Okay.
So they knocked the top off. So if you would have somebody take a look at that, I don't know how anybody could do that. I mean, you had to really be drunk, truly, to do that. Because it's way
it's like
over
the one that
to-
ramped over the roundabout on 36.
Yeah, just ran through it and just, poof. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Director Hendricks, did you have?
Yeah,
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you. I wanted to ask you, well, you can't tell it now, but I read somewhere where the at-large positions would be dealt with, where it would come up in 2024. I think that we worked too hard, too long, and I need to sit and talk with you. I've got so many constituents. It's somewhere that was mentioned this past week. So you don't need to discuss it now. I'll bring a bunch of folks here. We'll take care of it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. Director Peck, did you have a?
Oh, I'm so sorry. No, I've been on this.
Are there any more questions from members of the board? Before we move forward with the motion for adjournment, just want to make sure everyone's aware, as you know, we had an Opportunity Zones Task Force that was commissioned this past summer to be in line with the federal government's Opportunity Zone. We do know that Governor Hutchinson identified 4 zones in Pulaski County in those areas. Mr. Moore and his team worked to get as many as possible. We only had 4 that were selected. And so this task force of about 20 community and business leaders have been meeting, and now they have their recommendations, and before they report their recommendations, they're going to have a series of community meetings. We're very keenly aware, as I shared in the State of the City, to have an anti-displacement plan to make certain that we are working with the community rather than telling the community. We want the community to tell us what they want to see for the city's future moving forward in these Opportunity Zone areas. With that being said, I just wanted to alert with you that those Opportunity Zone Task Force community meetings will begin at 6 o'clock p.m. February 6th, it will take place at the Hillary Clinton Children's Library. February the 13th will take place at Dunbar Community Center. February 20th will take place at the East Little Rock Community Center. February 27th will take place at the MacArthur Museum Center. So we want to make sure everyone's aware. 6 o'clock, if you would, particularly those in your ward areas, please attend, and then also just share with the community. We want as many community members as possible. Director Hines, I know you're if you will let Mr. Hosto know as well. Director Richardson.
Yes, Mayor, thank you for that update. And I know opportunity zones are a lot different than empowerment zones. So are these areas that have been designated opportunity zones, are they eligible for new market tax credits for ongoing future development?
I'm going off the cuff from a vague memory. I know from the new market tax credit areas, I know that Arkansas Capital did receive a new allocation, but through the Heartland Renaissance Fund, they have specific projects that they are brought in, review, that are submitted, and then they pick. I do not think any of those, to my knowledge, are part of, but I'll call Mr. Sam, Lord.
Sam Lord?
No, not Sam Walls III.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Sam Walls III. I was going to say another Sam, but Mr. Sam Walsh III, and we'll figure out if there's any projects in those areas.
Well, Mayor, this may not be a fair question for you. I know Heartland Renaissance was the only entity in Little Rock that got new market tax credits a few years ago, and I think they got upwards of $56 million. And to my knowledge, the only redevelopment they've done has been centered around building new buildings on the campus of Arkansas Baptist College. So this may not be a fair question for you. Do you know of any other development projects that Heartland Renaissance has undertaken in the city of Little Rock?
I believe majority of them that have happened in the city of Little Rock were Arkansas Baptist College. I'm pretty certain. And you should know that the Heartland Renaissance Fund, they took in a number of applications, and so they had projects in each congressional district. It so happened that Little Rock's projects were Arkansas Baptist College, where they would do other congressional districts.
Thank
and
you,
the only
sir.
reason I know that I used to be on the board.
Well, thank you, sir. Move to adjourn.
There's a motion. There's a second. Oh, this is correct. Director Adcock.
At everyone's seat, there's one of the Neighborhoods USA registration books that came out online this week, and I left one at your desk if you'd like to have it. If not, if you let us have it back, we'll give it to somebody who is interested in attending. Thank you.
Thank you so much. There's been a motion. Is there a second? All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Motion adjourned.